After 3 years, the show is finally mine. What's going on, everybody? Ghost doing it solo today. I found out today that Chase wasn't gonna be here. I knew Pat was gone, and then Chase was like, "Hey, did Pat tell you I wasn't gonna be here?" Nope, wasn't a thing. So, you just get me today, so hopefully we'll have a good time. You're welcome, and I'm sorry. But welcome to episode 17 of season 4 live on Two Wheels. I get the feeling this episode may not be quite as long because I'm not as good at BS feeling as Chase is. Let's be honest. He's pretty good at that. So I get stuck with the shit show. That's what Shannon says. Yeah, hopefully it won't be as much. I will say this. It's happened in the past where internet or power here at my house has just kind of blipped and gone out. If that happens, I'm not coming back because it's just not, I'm not even going to try. So, yeah, we're going to have a good time. Hopefully we'll answer some questions in the chat. Thank y'all for being here. Talk a little bit about Smort Touring. That was going to be the topic, but it's also going to be whatever I want it to be because the show is mine. And actually, I'm not here by myself. Actually, hold on a second. I got a little friend here. So you see him? This can be my co-host. So this is LBT, which can anybody guess what LBT stands for? So let's see. Where is it? Here's a hint. So this is my little boo thing. It's little ghost. He's going to be silently over here helping me out. So I'm not going to hold him here the whole time and do a ventriloquist act, but I just thought I'd introduce you to little boo thing. You may see him on future episodes that, just a little drop in here and there. So anyway, yes, this is going to be chaos. And yes, Shannon, this may be bad. I don't know. It's I've just for full transparency, I have typically been a person that's been a behind the scenes type of guy in everything that I've done as far as my day job. And then, helping out the guys with this show early on, I was just pulling information. I've always been kind of a behind the scenes guy. So doing stuff like this is me stepping out of my comfort zone a little bit, but I'm trying to be better with it, be more comfortable with it. So this is me doing that. So thank y'all for any of your patience that you give me. So let's see. Am I trust Mystic? They do trust me. I think they actually do. Oh, Shannon, that's a great idea to set up LBT in a picture frame as my reflection. I like it. And Goonie's already dropping some sport touring questions. With Ducati dropping the Super Sport in V2 and basically giving the V2 the Super Sport engine, am I going crazy? What? Was that proper English? I don't know. We'll get into it. Maybe we'll just start pulling up some different bikes and looking at them if y'all have questions about it, and we can just kind of check it out. So, yeah, why don't we just kind of get into some of the usual stuff? Also, I don't know if you can really tell on here, but, of course, sponsored by Cardo. I have marked out Chase's code because he's not here today. So you can use Ghost on Two Wheels to support SmortCon or Ruckus Parts. And thank you all for those who have used my code recently. We're able to give a prize at SmortCon. And you know what? Since the guys have skipped out on today and, didn't let me know until today. Well, Pat let me know he wasn't going to be here, but he said Chase was going to be here. And then Chase said he wasn't going to be here, but I may obligate them to give away a gift card. I'm going to come up with something later on and we'll maybe a little contest. Y'all might have to do a little research. Yeah. Y'all want to do that? Okay. All right. Well, let's get into a little bit of the usual things of the show. We'll just kind of hit a few moto photos and just plow through it. Like I said, this is probably not going to be as long of a show. I'm not going to push it until 6. But we'll talk as long as you guys want and hang out a little bit. So let's just go into the moto photo. I told Chase last time, which was 3 weeks ago, I needed to come up with a little jingle for the moto photo intro, and I haven't. I feel like I should hire somebody on Fiverr or something to do that. Andy, that may be a great idea. Do a meme off. I don't know. If someone wants to set up a thread or something in Discord, and if you got any good memes in there, we may go check it out. Anyway, back to the moto photo. Oh, Goonie, I got an assignment for you. If you're still doing AI voice stuff, can you get Chase singing a moto photo intro? That would be pretty epic. So let's do that. Anyway, let's hit the moto photos, shall we? Let me make sure I'm lined up here. So we're going to the first one. Our buddy Randrew. I asked for some Smort Touring pics. Let me get this full screen for you guys. I asked for some Smort Touring pics in the moto photos since that's kind of what we were hoping to talk about. And this is a picture of his Honda Super Hawk when he toured that thing down from Illinois to Tennessee 2 years ago for SmortCon. I think he got about 80 miles to the tank on it. So he probably had to stop for gas like 23 times to get there. But a nice little touring pack. My back would be broken after riding that for so long. Yes. So this was SmortCon 1. Fun fact about this photo as well. If you look over here to the right side in the carport, which they had a bike for us that I guess we could pedal around on, I almost had to use that because this was when my stator burnt out on my previous bike and I couldn't go on the ride with the guys. But fortunately, buddy Andy Uguni spotted me back here. And then this is where my bike sat for the next 24 hours recharging the battery. So I had enough juice to get home without a stator. So that was fun. Yes, Nick, you do not need cruise control for sport touring, but I mean, really, you could sport tour on anything. You could take a CBR 600RR across country, and I guess technically it's sport touring. That doesn't mean you should. I mean, you can also take a CBR 600 adventure riding. Doesn't mean you should, but anyway. Thanks, Moto Cannon. I know stator issues. It was that era of 650 engines from Kawasaki that had the stator issues. It was like one of those known things that it wasn't significant enough to be like a full on recall, I don't think. But it was like yeah, we had issues with it. Sorry. Could take the ruckus next time. All right. Next moto photo. Rackhouse moto photo. He submitted a lot of photos when I asked, and this is what I thought was the best one. Certainly displaying a nice 2-up sport touring photo with his 1250 RS. So that's a fun little photo. He had a more provocative one in there. So if you're not on the Discord, yeah, go check that out. That's fun. And last one up here, user DSB with a Triumph Tiger Sport 660. Loaded up for some touring duty. So yeah, that definitely hits on what sport touring is. It's such a good looking bike. I like these styles of bikes. So this is why I'm having fun with this show. And that's why I decided to proceed with taking on this show. All right. So anyway, if you all want to submit your moto photos, go into our Discord. Under the moto photo section, it's mostly just people talking crap and posting memes and having discussions and not really posting photos of their motos, but occasionally they do when I ask for it. So I do appreciate that. So moving on here, just also a sponsor of this, SmortCon. I do want to give a shout out to SmortCon. We have that coming up in, what is it, 2.5, 3 weeks, I think it is. So September 10th through the 13th, we are gathering the Smorts in Maggie Valley, North Carolina.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for that. Member chat, Hobbit of Chaos member for 10 months. We love you, long time Ghosty. Oh, that's tender. I appreciate that, bud. Yeah, SmortCon is coming up 2.5 weeks, basically. And so this is just where we get together, just really building the community of motorcyclists that came out of, what started SmortCon? Was it basically, I think, post-pandemic when we were like, hey, we're going to have our own meetup because other meetups were canceled or whatever. And we're like, oh yeah, we're going to meet up. Hey, let's meet up. So this will be our 3rd year doing this, which is great. First year we went to Tennessee, outside of Nashville. Last year we went to Somerset, Kentucky. It was hot last year, and we kept going in August. So this year we're pushing it back into September. Hopefully be a little bit cooler, but we're going to enjoy the roads of Western North Carolina, Tennessee, Tail of the Dragon, Cherahalla Skyway, Blue Ridge Parkway. We're close to like Asheville if we want to do the city things, or we may even have a little adventure to Buc-ee's. I don't know. We're just going to see what's up. So, yeah, if y'all are in kind of the Southeast area or even from way far away and you're interested in SmortCon, check it out in Discord, shoot me a DM or something. We basically rent a big Airbnb and we've got some room. You can sleep on the couch, bring a sleeping bag, whatever. We just hang out, have a good time, go for some rides and enjoy the company. So, yeah, so SmortCon's coming up. Really looking forward to that. It's always a good time, good people. And yes, use code Ghost on 2 wheels at cardosystems.com. Pick you up the new Pack Talk Pro. All funds from that, I do get a little kickback. Of course, that's what referral links do. But I use that for SmortCon, or I'm going to get Ruckus parts. Actually, Small Bore, I believe he asked me what was going to be the next upgrade for the Ruckus. And I'm looking at a rear shock. So, yeah. So with my size and weight, the shock is, there's not a lot of play there when I'm going down the road. It's perfect for my wife, and she's actually put the most miles on the Ruckus. But anyway, I like to do anything that I get kicked back from this as a fun kind of give back or something fun back to motorcycling. Nick, why can't you go? You know what you could do, Nick? Here's a strategy for those that maybe you have some family ties that are restricting you. What if you schedule for that same duration a little Western North Carolina getaway, and you go rent a cabin for a few days, and then you just say, hey, babe, I'm going to take one day and go ride with the Smort crew. You come hang out, and then you can kind of go back, and then y'all enjoy your time. Best of both worlds. I mean, just do that. I got solutions for everything. So there you go. What do we have next? Quick shifter. So yeah, let's just, should I play the bumper? I've got to, I guess. There it is.
Welcome to the quick shifter.
Okay, we're not gonna let the whole thing play. I need to shorten that up. It is a little too long, I think. All right, quick shifter news. The Suzuki SV650 is now 25 years old. And to celebrate, Suzuki is giving it a few new colors next year. So Suzuki doing Suzuki things. I mean, bold new graphics, that's what they've got. Now, admittedly, Suzuki has done some great things in the last couple years with the revisions to the V-Strom. Well, just their new 800 platform. the Gixatus, the 8R, the new V-Strom 800 DEs and such. So that's been pretty cool. This one's for our buddy Yanto, recovering from, a little SW Motec. Take two. SW Motec just launched a new waist pack for the little items while you're on the bike. So, which is a fanny pack. So now you've got these big moto companies that are making fanny packs. So, it's really just, it's okay to wear a fanny pack while you ride. So actually, I think Yanto has fanny packs on his YouTube store. I think so. Uh-oh. Goonie says he's getting work done. So I think, Yanto's got he kind of has this little thing where he always wears a fanny pack on his rides, keeping the extra GoPro batteries, when they haven't exploded and stuff. And he's got a little tagline that says, "Get wasted," but waist is in, around your hips, not, that thing. So, go buy a fanny pack from Yanto. Do that. Forget SW Motec. Their stuff's too expensive. Next up, the Livewire S2 Del Mar made an appearance at the Olympics in Paris. So if y'all saw the closing ceremonies, Tom Cruise doing Mission Impossible things, coming off the top of the stadium, getting the Olympic flag to take it back to LA where the Olympics will be next time. But hey, we got to see an electric bike make an appearance. I mean, of course they would use an electric bike there, which actually kind of makes sense also in practicality. I don't think you would want all those exhaust fumes with all these athletes. That seems just very bad. So I don't know. And then, I just skipped ahead and did something. Whoops. So the last thing on the quick shifter was what I was going to use to kind of transition into this topic. Team Green new engine. So this is something where it's a little bit more in my realm. So I definitely wanted to talk about it today. I like to kind of keep aware of what's happening with new bikes, all the major brands and kind of the new models that are coming out. And typically they're doing the SV650 thing of, hey, this bike's coming back with just some different colors. All right. And then every 4 to 6 years, they get some type of revision. Okay, now there's LED headlights. Now there's traction control, unless you're Suzuki and it's just the colors. So I like to be aware of all the major brands and everything. So interestingly enough, I was, as an owner of a Kawasaki Versys 1000, I always like to see what's new and coming up with the Versys. And so Kawasaki, late last year, early 2024 was announcing, the Ninja 650 is returning and this is returning and the Versys 650 is returning for 2024. And there was nothing for the Versys 1000. I was like, maybe it's coming a little bit later. And then throughout the year, you never see a 2024 Versys 1000. It's always just showing the 2023 model. So I either thought, worst case scenario, they're discontinuing the bike, or they're taking a year off to give it a little bit of an upgrade, because it has been 5 years since the last significant upgrade to the Versys 1000. In 2019, they took it from a big 1000 Smort Touring machine and added all the tech in to where it had the throttle by wire. So you got the cruise control, rider modes, fully electronic suspension, cornering lights, heated grips, all the things, which was great. And then I think it was probably maybe on an episode last year, or maybe when I was just talking with the guys, but I told them it was maybe around the time of the Tracer 9 GT Plus announcement. I said, I expect Kawasaki within the next couple of years doing a similar thing and upgrading the Versys 1000, because it's very much a flagship bike of Kawasaki. They're going to keep dumping the tech into that one. And I would expect that it would be one of Kawasaki's first bikes, even though it's not the first one, but one of the first ones to get radar so that you can have adaptive cruise control, blind spot monitoring, things like that. I think the Ninja H2 has has radar on it. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong on that. But it was just one of those things where you said, yeah, the next big revision of the Versus, it's got to have this to stay relevant. And so we think that may be what's happening, being that there's no 2024 model announced yet. And we saw this with the Tracer 9 from Yamaha. In the US, at least, we had a 2022 Tracer 9 GT. We did not have a model for the 2023 year. And then 2024, we had the Tracer 9 GT Plus. I think in some other countries they did have a 2023 model, but I guess just with distribution, etc. So I suspect that's what's going to happen with Kawasaki in the Versus 1000 this year. And as such, last week, an article that's kind of come out in a few spots now, in Australia, Kawasaki has actually filed with their transportation, whatever. I guess, is it a patent or something? But filing for the vehicle of the Kawasaki Versus 1100. So that's interesting. So now it's getting a little bump in power as well. I'd be interested to see like how much of a bump it is, because the engine is already a 1043 cc engine. You know, it's closer to a 1050 than a 1000, but so I wonder if it's actually like a full 100, or maybe it's just a little bit and it's just a little closer to 1100, whatever it may be. I would suspect they're doing something similar that they did with their 400 engine. So with the Ninja 400, now the 500, which is a 451, but that's another episode. Anyway, but what they were able to do with that is take the existing engine and basically increase the stroke length and squeeze out a little bit more power, a little bit more mid-range or low torque, make it a little bit more usable. And they were able to retain the same form factor of the engine. So the Ninja 500 and the Ninja 400 are like physically pretty much the same bike. I think they even use some of the same parts, although there was some body restyles, but basically same framework. I imagine that's something similar. I did some Googling and I saw a number of 1070 cc's for the Versus, but you know, so it's not quite 1100, but just a little bump. Anyway, that's not the major thing. Once you get up to that point, a few cc's is not making a big difference. But, you know, I was hoping to talk to Chase about some of this and see what he thinks of what do they need to be putting into the new Versus 1100 to make it a proper sport touring bike as part of the next step in keeping up with the trends. Now, I know some of you are like, I don't like all this newfangled technology. It's too much, but it is what it is. It's one of the technology bikes. So I'm thinking by default, it's got to have like radar for adaptive cruise control, and also potentially the braking, like the automated braking, which it probably has to do as part of the cruise control. I don't know. Has anybody ever actually used adaptive cruise on a motorcycle? Can you drop a comment down in the chat? Let me know. I'd be interested to see what your experience with that is. So anyway, just seeing what else it would need to make it kind of next level sport touring bike, and then, you know, get into the discussion of what is sport touring, you know. And here I've got a few little notes about what the Versus already had. And, you know, it's got heated grips, cruise control. I mentioned all those things: traction control, cornering lights, luggage, ride modes. I would think it would have to be the radar. What else? I mean, does it need anything else? I mean, it's already a pretty, if you look at what a definition of a sport touring motorcycle is, which is very fluid, I think the Versus already checks a lot of those boxes. So I think really it's just the radar. It has the luggage. So what do you all think defines a sport touring motorcycle? I know it really kind of, motorcycles now are more of, there's a lot of overlap. it's more of a spectrum than just distinct values now. I mean, it used to be there was like cruiser, sport bike. There's nothing else in the world. You had Harleys and Hondas. That was it. At least when I was a kid, whatever. But now you've got bikes that are, they do a little bit of everything. Adventure bikes. I mean, you can sport tour on an adventure bike. Some people take actually, dual sport bikes, which are made for just primarily dirt, and will tour on that. So what do you all that are graciously hanging out in the chat, what do you all think adds to, or what really makes a characteristic of a sport touring machine? And while I'm waiting for those to come in, I did actually hit Google up, and it gave me an AI overview. Oh no, it's actually trying to respond to me. I asked it, what is sport touring? And here's what it gave me. And I thought it was pretty good. Sport touring is a type of motorcycle riding that combines the performance of a sport bike with the ability to tour long distances. Sport touring motorcycles are lighter than full touring bikes, with a more performance-oriented style and a less relaxed seating position. They have higher ground clearance for better cornering, and some manufacturers use engines and technology from their sport bikes, which, we get that trickle-down tech. Sport touring motorcycles are designed to be comfortable for all-day riding, mostly, and riders often view motorcycling as a skill-based sport. That's interesting. Do you consider motorcycling a sport as it is? Then any type of touring on a motorcycle would be sport touring, I guess. Some characteristics of sport touring motorcycles: riding position, more forward than a cruiser tourer, but upright compared to performance road bike or sport bike. More narrow tires, suspension a little firmer, higher performance engine, often tuned version of a sport bike engine with emphasis on mid-range torque. I agree with that. So yeah, definitely. I think that's a pretty good synopsis of what sport touring is. Let's see. Oh, we got a few comments out here. Comfort seat, heated seat. Iceman Moto, where are you riding that you need a heated seat? Well, you are Iceman. Wouldn't a heated seat melt you? That seems like a bad choice for you. I'm just going on the information on the screen, though. Nick Ingalls says, with adaptive cruise control in aggressive driving states, that will pull in front of you if you squeeze in your lane. It hits the brakes fairly aggressively to get to the computer's following distance. Sorry, I probably read that wrong, but I guess in the aggressive driving states like Georgia, or in Atlanta, it could really mess with you there, because people are just constantly weaving in. And sidebar, I feel like when I come to Atlanta, because I live in the metro area, like when I'm coming back to Atlanta from traveling and I'm on the road, I just feel this road aggression building up the closer I get to Atlanta. Like I grew up in East Tennessee, and in East Tennessee, if you were at a red light and somebody honks at you, they're just trying to get your attention, something to be like, hey, good to see you. Here, if someone honks at you, it means that the light turned green 0.01 second ago, and you're not yet on the accelerator, and they are pissed off. That's Atlanta. So, I can understand adaptive cruise once you kind of get in a radius of a major metro area where there can be a lot of traffic and especially aggressive drivers. The adaptive cruise, or just cruise control in general, not advisable. No, not advisable. It's going to put you in the back of somebody's car. Yeah, absolutely. I would not want to do. What was I talking about? I went on a tangent about Atlanta traffic. Adaptive cruise. I mean, I think that would be great, more for the touring aspect. If you're really thinking about sport touring, you're wanting to, go some sort of distance, but you're also wanting to have some fun with it too. Instead of just straight lining, knocking out miles, you may want to take the scenic route and some big twisties and things like that. And, um, I think like that, cruise control is not going to be an advantage for you. Um, but I think when you do get on those stretches where you do want to knock out the miles and you want to kind of relax and reduce the sport and you're increasing the touring aspect of it, you definitely want the cruise control for that. So, Iceman Motos in Norway. That explains it. Norway's the cold way. Norway's beautiful though. There's a lot of nice landscape up there. Um, but yeah, I could imagine a heated seat though would be a very, very nice thing to have. I've even thought about, not seriously considered, but thought about what it would be like to get a heated seat, because I do commute to work even in the winter months. So the winters here in Georgia are not nearly as severe as others, but I mean, we've had some temperatures in the 20s where I've still gone to work on the bike. And the best piece of gear that I have for that is a heated jacket liner. The heated grips are good and certainly help on the bike itself, but like a heated liner, like if you can keep your core warm, then that kind of your blood circulates and keeps the rest of you warm. So that's a nice thing. But a heated seat would be kind of nice. Just help your butt be comfortable, I think too. Yeah, definitely for sure. Um, nice. So, what else? What else is a sport touring? Luggage. I mean, I think luggage is definitely a key component of a sport touring motorcycle, whether it comes with the bike or you add it on, because if you're touring, you're going somewhere probably for multiple days. So, yeah. Cool thing about the Versus is it does have the integrated hard bags. The thing I don't like about it is it's kind of the weird angular shape, which looks cool, but it's weird to stuff things into. But it is nice, lockable, waterproof, things like that. And you see that on a lot of things. The new from Suzuki, their new GSX 1000, both the GT and the GX. Yeah. You know what I mean. Basically, their version of a Versus and a Ninja 1000. I'll use the Kawasaki comparison there. I think they come with hard bags too. That's a neat bike too. I got a chance to test ride that, do a demo ride. So you can check out that video. Shameless plug because it's my show today. That bike is more sport and performance oriented than the Versus is. So it was a little less comfortable, but it had a lot more pickup. So if you're coming from like an R1 or a Gixxer 1000 or something like that, and you still want that punch, I would go for that Suzuki or a BMW S1000 XR, which that bike is basically an S1000 RR posing as a sport touring upright bike. It's a cool bike, but I can't afford a BMW premium. Oh my goodness. So what are some fun sport touring bikes that, or what bikes come to your mind when you hear of a sport touring bike? I'd be interested to see like kind of what image does that bring for you all. I mean, I see things as like, uh, and I'm thinking of kind of the mainstream bikes. Of course, the Versus, the Ninja 1000, which is not, it actually has a handlebar. It doesn't have clip-ons. So that makes it more sport touring friendly. The Suzukis I just mentioned, Tracer 9. Thanks, Hobbit. I'm glad this is this is calming for you. 1100 Rebel, the Dyna Lowrider S. Okay, so we got some Harley-Davidsons in there, sport touring-ish. I wonder how sport they can be if they have like the lower ground clearance. I mean, because again, you can take any bike and give it some sporty riding, but if you can only lean it over so far before your floorboards are just grinding. I don't know. But yeah, those are more of the cruiser types, which is not really my cup of tea, but yeah, I mean, I've seen some people rip on those. And this is where sport touring can kind of be your own definition. You know, it can be everybody's got their own definition of what they see with it. So, uh, interesting. Did I put any more notes on that? No, I didn't. Oh, I was hoping again for a longer conversation with the guys who decided to not be here today. So, um, all right, chat, what you got? You got any questions for me? Like, do you got a question for Ghost? MTO3 is a comfortable touring bike. I mean, it could be if you don't mind the wind blasting. Here's the thing. Like I've ridden naked bikes. I've done, demo rides on very different things, and I've gotten up to speed on these naked bikes. And it baffles my mind how people can take a naked bike and like hit the interstate for miles and miles. I mean, I guess it's just what you do. Like we hit a few interstate miles, a lot of interstate miles on a couple of our Smort trips, even when we went up to the Eclipse earlier this year, which was pretty cool. But fellow Smort Greenie, she's got an XSR 900. We're hitting interstate miles and she's just going, it's a naked bike. And I think you just lean into it and you just get used to it. I mean, a lot of it is about just what you're used to, but I'm so spoiled by, fairings and windshield that I don't consider naked bikes touring bikes. If you do, awesome. And that's the great thing is we can have different opinions on it and it's okay. I mean, we can like what we want. It's not politics. Anyway, we need a mini moto sport touring bike like Hobbit. Why do we need a mini moto sport touring bike? Can you really tour if you're not going more than 40 miles per hour? Can we get a Ghost Adventures like the Travel Channel where you just randomly go with no destination in mind? I don't know. Usually I have to have a destination. Like there are a few days when if I have a day to myself without either job obligations or side hustle obligations, which I have a few of those. I mean, when I do have a day to just get out and ride, sometimes I'll just randomly go out, but I don't like go out just for hours and hours and hours unless it's like a planned ride with some people. I usually just go out and ride for, maybe an hour or two just to relax. And then I come back. Yes, Nick, thanks for backing me up. Highways suck on a naked bike. There. I said it. He confirmed it. Make it so. That is a law now. The GS310 ADV touring bike. That GS310 is actually a pretty good little machine. I also did a demo ride on that one. I was very surprised at the performance of that little single cylinder. It does come with a little bit of a windscreen, and you can add to it, I'm sure. And really, these bikes, even these small engines, they can run at highway speeds for, even though they're revving out, they're fine. They're made to do that. Hobbit says we should plan a ride to Little Grand Canyon and what does it say? Little White House in South Georgia. That's Providence Canyon, I think. I've heard about that. Which was actually, I think the thing about Providence Canyon is it was like a happy accident, or maybe a really bad accident that we can enjoy now as the Little Grand Canyon, but it was like something with farmland that they didn't do the irrigation right or something, and the runoff just like totally washed away farmland and stuff. I don't know, but I've heard it's pretty cool down there. Um, it's like 40 minutes away. How far is it from Atlanta? Let's do this thing. Let's do some live looking, huh? Let's do some Google Maps. Yeah, I mean, so for those that are only listening to the podcast version, sorry. Um, let's see. There's Atlanta. Providence Canyon. Directions from Atlanta. An hour and a half, says Hobbit, and this says 2 hours and 17 minutes. I think you're a little outside the margin of error with that. Oh, jumping in, Nick. Nick asks, random question: does anyone know what bike Chase was riding in his accident? He was on his CF Moto Ibex 800. So, and I think there's still some legalities or something pending around that, maybe just insurance and whatnot. So he hasn't talked about that, but I think he's going to do kind of a full episode about that later on. But yeah, and you know, his accident was actually on the same day that Yanto had his accident. And so I was really scared to go riding that day because I was like, these things come in threes. I don't want to hope nobody else hits that. So, yeah, Shannon says depends on which side of the city you're on. That's a true statement. That is true because it takes an hour from Atlanta to get to Atlanta. Like you just can't get anywhere quick in Atlanta. It's terrible. I don't like it. So, yeah, we'll need to go check that out. Providence Canyon. So I zoomed in. Oh wow, you can kind of see. I don't know if you can see on the map here. It's like all these little tributaries and creeks and interesting. Cool. I don't know, Hobbit. We'll think about it. Maybe we can get down there and but I've heard it's a good little trip. My wife actually wants to go hiking down there in Providence Canyon. So we will see. Yeah, Nick, it does kind of suck about the Ibex because that was kind of a good workhorse bike for Chase, and you know, hopefully they were going to get into some more adventure bro stuff or whatever, and then but that's kind of put a little kink in that. But from what I hear, they're going to have the opportunity to borrow another bike that can fill some adventure shoes. But I can't say. I mean, I could say, but I don't want to get him in trouble. I'm going to try not to chase the episode. So, oh, did I tell y'all where the guys actually were? I don't think I can. I'm under restriction for that. If y'all have been following Patty Rick on socials, and then of course Chase reposted that. Patty Rick is out in Utah at the Royal Enfield Himalayan 450 press launch, and Chase is actually at an event that I saw kind of posted yesterday from Honda. Honda is up in North Georgia, kind of around Two Wheels of Such's Dahlonega area, and they're doing a press launch on their new e-clutch system. So I think that's coming up first on their 650s. So the CB 650R and the CBR 650R will have the e-clutch, which is very interesting to me. I would love to see how that operates. They've basically said with the e-clutch, you just don't have to use the clutch. Like if you don't want to, you still have a shift lever, so it's not an automatic. and it's not exactly a quick shifter. I mean, I guess it could be. It's maybe kind of a different kind of quick shifter. But basically, it actuates the clutch for you with a couple, I guess, well, it's an E-clutch, electric, maybe like a solenoid type of thing inside of it. Whereas a quick shifter, when you're using a quick shifter, you're not affecting the clutch. The clutch is always still engaged. It's just the quick shifter changes the timing of your ignition firing and such so that it can rev match and, take the load off the transmission to allow the gear to change. Here with the E-clutch, it's actually like disengaging the clutch appropriately to shift that gear without you having to pull in the clutch lever. But I think you can turn it off. It's not an option on the bike. I think it's just coming on the bikes now, but through setup, you can turn it off or you can still use the clutch lever yourself. Interesting. I can't wait to see what comes back from that and the video on that, probably in a few weeks. So yeah, that's where the guys are. They just decided to go off and ride some new bikes and stuff. I mean, man, when the new Versys 1100 comes to the States, and if they get an invite from Kawasaki for that press launch and they don't ask me to go cover it, I will be upset. Anyway, what do we got going on in the chat? I can't help but to think Bear on a unicycle. What? Fat guy in a little coat. What are you talking about? Did I miss something from the chat? Probably. Anyway, we'll just move along, I guess. Don't know what you guys are talking about. So those will be some cool videos coming up, I guess, with the Himalayan 450. I've heard it's got some pretty good revisions. The adventure market is kind of moving back down to the 450s and lower, because you've got the Ibex 450 that's coming to the US. I think I heard August or September. So we may be seeing the Ibex 450, internationally known as the 450 MT. We may be seeing that in showrooms pretty soon. Oh, Patty on a Royal Enfield. Got it. Yes, Bear on a unicycle. I gotcha. And it's funny. Oh, that's good. Yes, thank you for clarifying. Ibex 450. I would assume we'd start seeing it hitting some showrooms pretty soon. I did get to see one in person at Moto America in April. CF Moto had their demo truck there, and I did a couple rides on their bikes. They weren't demoing the Ibex 450 at that time. The guy said that was the only Ibex 450 in the country at that time. So he's like, yeah, so we're not demoing it, but he was like, but you can sit on it if you want to. And I was like, I'm still scared. If it's the only one, I don't want to be that guy that it just has the little whoopsie daisy. So I'm not doing that. So Miller Hendricks says Ibex 450 is a dream. Have you been on one? Be interesting to know. The 500 Vroom. I think it's the Voom, which is weird. Vroom would be cooler because that's the sound it makes. Yeah, that 500 looks like it could be pretty cool because that's a 4-cylinder, right? I like inline fours. I just like that engine characteristic. It would be interesting to see that. It was like the big version of that Papio SS. And what is it that the air intakes are inside the headlights? That's crazy. I know. It seems pretty cool. CF Moto is doing some cool things. I mean, there's still a lot of people that are kind of like, I don't know about a Chinese brand, but they're making waves. I mean, I think, in a year or two, we'll see kind of what they are long-term, but they've been doing all this other stuff for long-term. And actually, I think I saw in October, the dealer where I got my Versys is actually having a CF Moto demo day. I wonder if they'll have the Ibex 450 there. I may have to go check that out if it doesn't interfere with my side hustle for the fall. Which, by the way, next week we will not be having a show because I will be out of town working at a football game. So in the fall, I go back to my alma mater and help work the football games, running replays and running graphics on the video board and producer. So again, more of that behind the scenes stuff that I like to do. And I just wrapped up doing video work this summer for the Atlanta Hustle, which is Atlanta's ultimate Frisbee team. Yeah, hippie sport, right? Whatever. Okay. Ultimate's fun. It was a great atmosphere. And even my son got to work the cameras a little bit this year too. So that was awesome. So that's part of my side hustle, which has been taking a lot of my attention this summer. My regular day job is I'm taking a little tangent here talking about me because it's my show today. Suck it. Yeah, this summer has been really, really busy and kind of just exhausting because, work, I've had a lot of things going on at work with my regular 9 to 5 or 9 to 4:23 on Thursdays when I have to do this. So unfortunately, I've not been able to do a lot of things and try to help build up my channel more, which is a work in progress. But I do have a couple things that I've got on my agenda for my channel. A couple of products are on the way. One is actually a review of a product. A very small company that I hadn't heard of reached out and asked me to do a product review. So that's cool. I'm going to be like, yeah, you send it to me, I'll do it, whatever. And then the other thing was I found a bit of a deal on something, a great deal on something that I never thought I would get, but I decided to get it because of the great deal. So I've got a couple videos that should be coming out, whatever. And then, of course, covering SmortCon in the next little bit as well. So that'll be a good time. All right. So I'm going to drink some water because I've been talking this whole time because I'm by myself. So y'all throw some questions in the chat. Hobbit, did I answer your question about the Vroom? It's the 500 Vroom. Let me pull that up. 500 SR Vroom. Here we go. Can y'all see that? Oh, let me make that bigger for y'all. Open image in new tab. There it is. So this is something that's coming from CF Moto very soon. I don't know when we'll get it in the States, but we've talked about it a couple times. It's got this old school vibe to it, but yeah, the headlights here. Can I zoom in or voom in? These are the air intakes for it. And then you have the LEDs. These are like the DRLs, daytime running lights, for those that don't know acronyms, that glow around it. And then your main headlight here is like the mouth. Here's the eyes. Here's the mouth. I don't know if we're getting this in the States within the next year or so. I haven't heard one way or the other, but yeah. Oh, you can kind of actually see the air tube coming down this way. I guess that's what that is. The housing for that. Miller Hendricks, would CF Moto make a bigger Papio SS? That's kind of what this one is. Let's pull it up side by side. CF Moto Papio SS. We're doing whatever we want to. We're not talking about sport touring anymore. Yeah, let's open up. Open image. And oh, you can't even really see that. There you go. See, there's the Papio. It's still got the circular headlights, but it's got like an O and an X. It's like it's playing Hollywood Squares or something on its pastime. I don't know, but it does kind of have that same like style. So I mean, kind of this is a bigger Papio, maybe not. Anyway, totally not talking about sport touring anymore. Um, so I think with yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to see what happens with this Versus 1100 whenever we get the official announcement from Kawasaki. I would suspect something would come out at EICMA about it, if not before. That would be I think that's in November in Milan, Italy. And we all know what EICMA stands for.
Esponzion.
So, yeah, that'd be really cool to see what comes out of that, see what comes this year. I think KTM's going back to EICMA this year, and then also MV Agusta, since they're kind of in the same boat now. I've talked. I sent a message to Chase about this. I'm just going to tell you. The AIM Expo, that's kind of like the United States version of EICMA, but it's kind of a little bit more broader power sports, so ATVs and things like that. But the AIM Expo is in Las Vegas in February. I told him, I was like, hey, if you need somebody to go take care of that. So we'll see. We get a lot of the big manufacturers there too. So I think all the big four from Japan, Honda, Kawasaki, Suzuki, Yamaha, Triumph is there, KTM. I don't know. There's a bunch of the OEMs, and then there's a bunch of like the smaller vendors for parts for all sorts of things. So, Hobbit, we will enjoy SmortCon. Why don't you just come? Maggie Valley, North Carolina, September 10th. There, it's out there. Y'all just come up, show up and find us. Have fun with us. The last night we do a cookout. Good times. Andy says, we still live, Ghost. Keep it going. I got it coming. What does that even mean? Oh shoot, I don't need to pull up my Discord right now. I'm afraid of what that will. we can't see that. Let me turn this off. Actually, let me do that right there so that you can't see all the things. I'm gonna pull this over to the side to see what Goonie's been into here. Sorry, I got to figure this out. I got some notifications and what? Okay, maybe not. Anyway, we're good. Anyway, I'm kind of at the end of my stuff. Like I said, it's usually better to have other people here to bounce stuff off of. But so kind of it's more of an update of the new Versus. Looking forward to seeing what Kawasaki does with that. I hope they add the radar to it. Not for me personally, but as just a product out there to be in line with the Tracer 9 GT Plus, with the Ducati Multistrada. I think BMW has radar. I think they just need to do that to stay at that level in kind of that premium bike market space, because the Versus is, in my opinion, the Versus 1000 is a premium offering from Kawasaki. And I mean, when you're already an $18,000 to $19,000 bike, I mean, you're getting up there. And I would suspect with another upgrade to technology and radar, yeah, this is going to be well over $20,000. And that's a lot of money. I've said it before. I would not have a Versus 1000 if I didn't have a killer deal on it. So, yeah, Hobbit says, if Chase and Patty don't show next time, it's a ghost takeover. I'll be your co-host. Yeah, we may just have to do that. Oh Lord. Goonie has just sent me Goonie Motophoto.mp3. Should I play it? And I can't preview this because of my setup here, audio wise. If I play it, I think it just comes through. I can't set it up just to me. Shannon says yes. I don't know. Should I? You know what? Who cares? Let's see what happens. I am going to say I need to give a disclaimer before this plays that anything that is said or conveyed from the following audio file does not reflect the views of Live on Two Wheels, C2W Media, Ghost on Two Wheels, or any of its affiliates or sponsors. This is 4 minutes and 57 seconds long. Oh my gosh. I'm really scared. Let's see. Let me know if y'all can hear this.
You've reached Chase on Two Wheels and I'm a nerd. You've reached Chase on Two Wheels and I'm a nerd. You've reached Chase on Two Wheels and I'm a nerd. You've reached Chase on Two Wheels and I'm a nerd. You've reached Chase on Two Wheels and I'm a nerd. You've reached Chase on Two Wheels and I'm a nerd.
Are y'all hearing that?
Here reaches the Moto Photo. Andy Uguni Chase on Two Wheels and I'm a nerd. Is the world's best hype man. Here comes the Moto Photo. Here comes the Moto Photo. Andy Uguni is the world's best hype man. Goonie is the world's best hype man. Andy Goonie is the world's best hype man. Andy Goonie is the world's best hype man.
He is the best hype man.
Goonie is the world's best hype man. Andy 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 Goonie is the world's best hype man. This is all it is for 5 minutes. Goonie is the world's best hype man. Andy 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 Goonie is the world's
5 minutes of this. Okay, you sent me a 1 minute version. Is it the same thing? I'll play the 1 minute version. Let's see if this is like. I love the dialing in.
You've reached Chase on Two Wheels and I'm a nerd. You've reached Chase on Two Wheels and I'm a nerd.
Man, we're going to surprise him with this next show. I almost said next week, but let's be honest. I'm not here next week.
You've reached Chase on Two Wheels and I'm a nerd. You've reached Chase on Two Wheels and I'm a nerd.
Oh, I can kill it. I didn't split it yet.
Andy Uguni. Chase on Two Wheels and I'm a nerd.
Okay, we really need to. Okay, so I know like Chase is not going to go back and watch this whole episode. So this won't spoil it. Goonie, can you make like a 30-second bumper or something with that to like, well, actually, or like a 1 minute version, and we'll use that to intro Moto Photo. Oh, let's do a contest. I mean, we only have a few viewers here, but let's wrap it up. I'm going to give y'all an assignment. We're going to have a little contest, and the winner will get a $50 Revzilla gift card. And I'm going to try to pressure Chase to pay for it since he's not here. So here's a little research, or if you're a longtime fan, you may know this. What was the bike covered on the first episode that I assisted on Live on Two Wheels? What was the bike topic? I need manufacturer and the model name. And the first one I see in the chat will win it. Again, it's not how you see it. It's about when I see it. So anyway, I'll go back and look for the answers in the chat, and then we'll figure something out from there. But while I'll let you go research some of that, or you can go figure it out, we're going to do, without Chase, the tip of the week.
It's my favorite time of the week. Finally time for the Ghost Tip of the Week.
Yay! That was great!
Ghost Tip of the Week. This is sponsored by Ghost on Two Wheels over on Instagram, of course. Speaking of tips.
All right, Ghost Tip of the Week, read by Ghost. How about that? When you want to annoy someone at work, just use air quotes when saying their job title. Yeah, I work with Chase, who's a YouTuber. Man, I bet you could really get people. Yeah, so and so, they're a director. Mm. So maybe that could be helpful for you. I don't know. When somebody's being annoying, just annoy them back. That's the best thing I think you can do, right? Um, so let's see. We got any guesses in the chat here? Got to be a versus, right? No, it's not. Hobbit, your first answer is wrong, and it's not a bike. Andy Uguni, Smort Touring. He knows what's up. So there's your hint. And it does kind of fall in the sport touring category. So I'm going to close this show kind of staying on topic loosely, but whatever. So what else you got? No clue on the Triumph Speed Triple 1200 RR. No, it is not. I love the examples from the from the tip. Like, oh yeah, this is our CEO. It was not the Genesis motorcycles, Nick. That was earlier this year. Here's another little hint. Well, I did say it was kind of in the sport touring realm. I've been helping with this show for almost 3 years. So, Goonie says the Jixus 1000. No. Pan America. No. I mean, is anybody going to get it right before I cancel or end the stream? And then I have to like, and then y'all should just like start DMing Chase through like all his channels, Discord, Instagram, and saying, hey, Ghost said you were going to give me a gift card. Go watch the episode. The one with the Africa Twin. Nope. The bike with the adjustable seat height, which could be the Pan America because it does have an adjustable seat. I know. They adjusted it for me before I did the demo ride. Here's another hint, and this may really throw y'all off. It is a bike that is not currently available in the United States. We covered it when it was announced, but it only ended up being, like, I think in Europe, maybe, but it has not come to the U.S. That's another. So Honda VFR, no. T7, no. Tiger 660, no. Of course, I'm seeing these chats coming in later than. Hold on. Okay, he's thinking. Goonie, you know how this works. We only hold on for so long, but you can prolong streams in certain ways. That may help fund the potential gift card that's about to be given out. The Honda Hornet, no. But that was a good guess. CF Moto 660. Do they have a 660? They have a 675 SR that's coming out. It's their triple. That's, I don't know if and when we'll get that in the U.S., but I think that's been announced officially now. What else we got? Any other guesses? I figured y'all would just kind of like, just go back and start researching. And I gave you like about almost 3 years ago. It's a bike not in the U.S. It is considered a sport touring. I don't know. I don't know what else to say. I'm just kind of chilling here. I'm gonna play the Goonie thing again, the Moto Photo song, while I drink some more water because I'm parched. Again, because I'm talking the whole time because I'm the only one here.
You've reached Chase on 2 wheels and I'm a nerd. You've reached Chase on 2 wheels and I'm a nerd. You've reached Chase on 2 wheels and I'm a nerd.
A couple more guesses coming in. Ducati Desert X. No.
You've
The Desert X is here in the United States. The bike covered is not currently available in the United States.
Here comes the Moto. Andy Uguni is the world's best hype man.
Who thinks Go should call it the VP of Smort? All right, hold on, Goonie. Let's see, can I? Oh, man, I was going to try to. Oh, look at this. We got to wait for it to register on the stream before I can say it. So Goonie saying, who thinks Go should call the VP of Smort? I don't know. Let's see if I can hold on a second. Let's see if we can get Goonie in here. I don't know if I can. Let me I'm gonna try it though. Why not? All right, Goonie, see if you got an invite. This could be bad news if he comes in here hot. Let's see. I'll go ahead and say super chat from Hobbit of Chaos. R1250 GS BMW. No. Again, that is available in the United States. The bike I am talking about is not available. It is not for sale in the United States. So if you keep saying bikes that are for sale in the United States, that's not it. There's the super chat sound. All right, let me see if I'm trying to get Andy. I'm really trying to see if I can do something to get you in, but I don't think I have the permission to add the permission you need to get in. All right, well, I mean, it looks like nobody's going to get it. There's been several guesses, no gets. Maybe I'll ask the question again next time, and if you do your research, you can come in with the answer quick. I don't know. Triumph Rocket 3, still available, small bore. So, anyway, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this show. Sorry it was just me, but hopefully you had a good time. Hopefully it was a little calming and some good information and just entertains you at least for a little bit. Thank you all for supporting the channel. Seriously. I have fun with this. I'm not as well-versed and as smooth and BS filling as Chase is, who's been in front of a camera for 10 plus years. But I enjoy this stuff. I like motorcycles. I like doing this show. So again, thanks for all of that. The guesses are still wrong. So, do your homework. Maybe I'll ask it again. Maybe it'll be something else, but I'm going to give like some trivia informational scavenger hunts next time for a prize. So anyway, thank you guys again. No show next week. I'm out doing other producer stuff. September 5th, I think is 2 weeks from now. I would think we would have a show then. The Thursday after that, I'll be out because SmortCon's happening in North Carolina. If you're interested, go to Discord, ask some people, check it out. I'm going to play some sounds and then I'm going to get out of here. So where's our fart sound? There it is. Y'all have a good night. We'll see you next time. Thanks.